I'm James Bradfield from the MSPpedia.
I'm Nicky Wyatt.
And this is Sonnet by the VIVA. And this kind of reminds us of when we were recording the new album. We were over in France and we were kind of quite isolated from everything that was happening in Britain. And we got this album, Urban Hymns, and first time we heard this song, we kind of realised what we were up against to a certain degree.
We were really jealous because it's such a beautiful song and a beautiful lyric and a beautiful title. And, you know, it just made us kind of spurred us on to write, you know, as good a record as that, if not better.
So this is Sonnet by the VIVA. Die Laughing by Therapy. It's probably my favourite Therapy song. And we toured with them in France, must have been about 4 or 5 years ago now. And every night, we supported Therapy because they're massive in France. And every night at the end of their concert, the French audience would always demand an encore. And we always used to laugh because the audience would be going, Thérapie, Thérapie, Thérapie. And just their pronunciation of the name Therapy we found quite funny. But I think Andy Keynes, who's a very good friend of mine, looks especially handsome in this video, I think.
Funny thing about that tour, though, was that we must have done 20 dates in the whole of France. I think we sold 3 T-shirts on the whole tour. So obviously no one liked us whatsoever.
So this tour with Therapy didn't, that tour with Therapy didn't especially break us in France. And so this is Die Laughing by Therapy. This is Last Goodbye by Jeff Buckley. And Nick won't say anything about this because he doesn't really like Jeff Buckley. He'll just say horrible things, so don't point the camera at him. This is like Jeff Buckley. I had his album from America on import before it was even released in Britain, so I was into him first. But when I heard there's a Jeff Buckley album out, I really wanted it because I really liked his father's records. And I used to love Jeff Buckley because he used to wear V-neck white T-shirts, one of my favourite pieces of clothing. And then I met him. I met Jeff Buckley at the Reading Festival around about 94, 95. And he actually walked up to me and started talking to me for some stupid reason. He was absolutely whacked out of his mind. He was just drugged out of his eyeballs. I don't know what he was on. But I just remember him. He didn't let down my expectations of him. He seemed godlike and just really present and just like he had an aura about him. And then I saw him play again in Dublin. And it was probably one of the best gigs I've ever seen in my life. And he's probably my favourite singer, except for Joe Strummer, who's a very different kind of singer. I think Jeff Buckley's got my favourite voice. So this is The Last Goodbye by Jeff Buckley. Watch out when he takes his top off at the end. It's obvious to see that Jeff Buckley never worked out. So it's Jeff Buckley. I'm James Bradfield from MSPpedia, back from the break.
And I'm Nicky Wyatt. This is She Bangs the Drums by Stone Roses. And there's actually 2 versions of this video. I don't know which one you're going to show. There's a live one from Blackpool, Empress Ballroom, and then there's a one which, like John Squire did with a camera, which is all white and blurred. Both of them are fantastic, and both of them show, you know, a band at their peak. At the time, they were the only band we admired, really, even though we sounded nothing like them. We just really admired them. They were so cool, and so everything was so effortless and joyous. And
we played with them. We played with them around about 3.5 years ago now, I think.
Another band we supported.
And it was their final gig, it was their final gig apart from their Reading gig.
Without John.
Without John Squire. And I was just glad that we got to support them because, you know, we knew it was their last gig. And I'm just glad I got to see them once because it's the only time we'd ever seen them live and never seen them since. It was it was lovely to see one of the greats in action, even though Rennie wasn't drumming with them at that time.
Yeah.
This is She Bangs the Drums by Stone Roses. My Star by Ian Brown. And the man that directed this video, he's called Wiz, and we've collaborated with him many a time. He's directed 4 of our videos, and he's directed the video for our new single. And I think this is one of the reasons why, in my mind, this is one of the reasons why we decided to use him for our new video, because My Star was so brilliant, and it showed that Wiz, the video director, had moved on quite a lot.
It's almost like it's like 3 minutes of a Stanley Kubrick film, feature film, you know. It's like 2001 mixed with everything, The Shining. It's just got, you know, and it's a fantastic comeback by Ian Brown. He looks like a middleweight white version of Marvin Hagler, dancing around and bopping. It's just he looked so cool on it, and he proved that he could do it on his own. You know, people never thought Ian Brown wrote any of the songs for the Stone Roses, but I think this proves he did.
So this is grace and power personified, Ian Brown.
My star.
My star.
No, this is Road Rage by Catatonia, and it's the greatest use of the letter R since Johnny Rotten rolled his R's. It's really, so it's got a real Welshness to it. I think Keris is, you know, the female Rod Stewart. I think she's got the best voice, best female voice in the world. It looks like they're having a laugh in the video, doesn't it? It looks like they spent loads of money and thought, hey, we got some new clothes.
Talking about the suit that Keris is wearing in this video.
Prada, isn't it?
It's a Prada suit that was worn by Baby Spice. And I can tell you, Keris looks a million times better in this suit than Baby Spice did.
Yeah, it's true.
So, here's
And we've done some gigs with Catatonia as well.
We have.
And they were lovely people.
And they were good drinkers and lovely people.
Oh, Keris, she could drink for Wales.
Didn't beat me, but she
nearly did.
She didn't. But here's the Catatonia Meisters looking great in Road Rage.
This is Today by Smashing Pumpkins, and it's like totally reminds me of we had to go to Chicago to do a video for Roses in the Hospital. Absolutely boiling hot. And we had the alternative rock radio station. And Today was on all the time by Smashing Pumpkins. It was on MTV all the time. And it's just got such a lovely melancholic feel to it. And I remember Richey just playing it to death. Today in Mayonnaise, he just couldn't stop playing all the time. And James had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do a video.
Yeah.
Part of the video on Chicago on the lake, wasn't it?
Yeah. And start shooting till 10 o'clock. Then when I got back in the car, Richey had this song on the roof.
As loud as possible.
As loud as possible. He wouldn't take this song off, just like Nick wouldn't take Live Forever off. So this really reminds us of Richey, this song does.
And it's really sunny and hot and just got a really lovely feeling to it.
Sun-drenched and burnt out.
And James ripped it off and those service all feeling.
Yeah, this is Today. This is Train in Vain by The Clash. The Clash is probably one of the biggest reasons we're in a band today. We thought we could be like The Clash. I thought I could be Joe Strummer, Nick thought he could be Paul Simonon, Richey thought he could be Mick Jones, and Sean definitely thought he could be Topper Headden. They were just our favourite band. They had everything. They were sexy, they were political, they were shit live sometimes.
Like us.
Yeah, like us. They were all combats. They were just everything we wanted to be. And I love The Clash so much that I've met Joe Strummer and Mick Jones, and every time I met them, I just couldn't say a word to them. I was absolutely stumped and starstruck. So they just thought I was a bumbling idiot, basically.
And Train in Vain is really strange because it's not actually listed on London Calling. It's almost like a secret track, so it's something you never realised, really, and then after a while, you'd realise what a fantastic song it is, and then there's the live clip of it. It's just, they're in America and they're dressed in black and they just look fantastic. So many memories of just being young and watching this video over and over and over and just wanting to be them. You know, and then Garbage went and sampled it, start of it, and ruined it all.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to take the blame for us existing as a band, just blame The Clash. It's their fault. It's Train in Vain.
And this is Beetlebum, which is another record I just couldn't stop playing when it came out. I've never been a huge fan of Blur. Always respected them as songwriters, but I think this was a record that showed they had a lot of soul. Just showed that they had more depth and they could write about themselves. It's a really nice, understated video. Lovely guitar sound on the chorus.
Yeah. It's basically every good Blur song has a memory for us, because every time they release a good record, it pisses us off for some reason. We're always jealous when they manage to write or record a good song.
I remember, as soon as the record came, first time we heard it, me and James phoned each other up and said, oh, bastards have done a good record.
Blur always remind us of how competitive we are still, basically. So this is Beetlebum by Blur. This is Shut 'Em Down by Public Enemy. It's one of their best videos, I think. Public Enemy had a great massive influence on us. We knew that we could never replicate their music, and we couldn't be like them musically. But at the time, we formed around about 88, 89. Public Enemy were one of the only bands that were being overtly political and intelligent with it too, and sexy, etc., etc. And we were just jealous. We wanted to be Public Enemy, and we couldn't, so kind of we tried to be The Clash instead. And kind of this is just a brilliant video. And we tried to get a remix done by Public Enemy, but I think their engineer did the remix for us instead, so we got The Poor Relation.
It's good though.
Yeah, it's good.
But I mean, we used to come on when we first did gigs in Britain. We only played for 30 minutes and then we walked off, and we used to come on to see Watch Channel Zero every single night, and Don't Believe the Hype sometimes as well. And it was a fantastic charged atmosphere, because a lot of the people who came to see us didn't really like us then. They were more interested in throwing glasses at us or something, and just really created an intense atmosphere.
Okay, we played Reading Festival in 1994, I think was it, and Public Enemy were downstairs having breakfast. And I always remember Terminator X going up to the buffet section and just putting everything in the buffet on his plate and piling everything on his plate. And he sat down with his plate and just demolished everything, all the food in front of him. He just demolished it all. He's the most supreme food eaters I've ever seen. So this is Public Enemy, and shut him down. We're off now. Thanks for spending an hour in our luxuriant company. Hope you enjoyed our bad taste in music. Keep reaching for the stars and keep your feet on the ground. Goodbye from James Bradfield.
And Nicky.
Bye-bye.